Hello fellow car nerds, welcome back to Foaming Ions. In today's video, we're going to do a wheel dressing comparison. It's about time to wash the old optic, and I figure now's a good enough time to test these out, see how well they compare to each other. You know, you typically throw one on the car, you put it on all four wheels and it's like, okay, that looks good. And then, you wash the car a little while later and you use a different dressing and you don't really get that side-by-side comparison. So in today's video, we are going to do that. Alright, so I know for the first product in comparison, I'm going to get some hate, but one of my go-to products is Chemical Guys VRP. I know Chemical Guys gets a lot of hate. I can understand why. They have a ton of products. They also dilute a ton of different products and repackage them. But VRP is a pretty solid product. It works great on exterior trim, it works great on interior trim, it works really well on tires. So we're going to be comparing this. It is a water-based solution, and from my experience, if you drive through a rainstorm or wash your car, it's probably going to wash off. But if you're just driving around, it's going to last for 2-3 weeks, maybe more. It's got some decent anti-static properties that help keep it clean. The next product we'll be using is Clean by Pan. Now this is version 1, so it is technically solvent based. From my experience though, it does not tend to last more than a month. Although I haven't really gone more than a month without washing the car since I've had it. But it washes off when you wash the car. There's not really a lot left. But it is a solid product. And I do also recommend this. The third product that we'll be reviewing is a Carbon Detail Supply wheel dressing. This one's new. I've not used it on all the wheels yet, but we're going to see how it looks. It says it's a OEM plus finish. So my expectation is it's also going to, just like pans and VRP, it's going to have a semi, kind of satin finish. It's not going to be super glossy. It's not going to look oily. This is a water-based solution, so it's also going to last probably about a month. At most. That's going to be your expectations of it. But what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the car out. I'm going to wash all four wheels, so we'll have a reference wheel with just the stock look. We will also have one wheel with each product, and we'll be able to do a side-by-side comparison here at the end, and see which one looks better, or maybe they all look the same. I guess we're gonna find out together. All right, let's get into it. Alright, now that we have all three tire dressings on the car in our comparison test, I'm going to give them a few minutes to dry, just so that when we go out into the sun, and what I'm going to do once I get out there too is I'm going to use a little water and just kind of see how they handle and react to water. But I'm going to give them a few minutes to kind of cure and dry. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and give you a quick tour of what they look like inside the garage. Alright, so first up here we have the rubber. There is no dressing on this wheel or tire. It is just the factory rubber. If we go up here, this is our Chemical Guys VRP wheel. As you can see, it's got a subtle shine to it. Not much, but it's a satinish shine. Alright, as we come around here, this is our carbon detail supply wheel, and it's got a very subtle shine to it. This looks more like the bottle said OEM Plus. It does not have as much shine as the VRP, but it also has kind of a dry look, which is kind of nice. And then as we come back here, this is the Clean by Pan wheel. And this one does have a little bit more of a shine to it. Tried to use the same amount of product, or about the same amount of product on each wheel. But this one does have just a little more shine. There's the garage tour. We'll give it a couple more minutes. I'll pull the car out into the driveway and we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like out in the sun. Alright, so here we are at the back, out here in the driveway. So this is looking at the wheel that's coated in the Clean by Pan tire dressing. As you can see, it does have a slightly gloss finish. But it's kind of a nice gloss. It's not too much. Maybe slightly more than satin, but it's looking pretty nice. Alright, and so here we have the carbon detail supply wheel up at the front, driver's side of the car. As you may be able to tell, it's got more of a satin finish. Kind of like I said earlier, it's definitely more OEM Plus. It's got a nice shine. You can tell there is tire dressing on it, but it's not overpowering or anything. Doesn't look like it's dressing that's going to sling off or fly all over the place. But it does look nice. Alright, now on the other front side, we have the Chemical Guys VRP wheel. As you can tell, it is dried. It also provides a mild satin finish. Maybe a little more than mild. It's somewhere between gloss and matte, but I think it's closer to that matte finish. But it does look nice as well. Alright, let's take a look at that back wheel. Alright. Here's that tire that's naked. Can we say that on YouTube? Can we show this on YouTube? Oh look, the tire's naked. Jerry from the future here. You may notice something a little bit different going on in this video. Because hey, guess who was editing a video and discovered that they kind of forgot part of the video? Couldn't have been me. Nope. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, got the car set up here for the tire dressing Showdown torture test here. I've got the wheels all prepared and shined back up because I totally didn't forget it. So I'm letting the tire dressing dry up, and, you know, go through its curing process, and then we're gonna hit it with the hose and see how well it lasts. And you know, we might try it a couple times and go from there. So on the back tire we had the Clean by Pan tire dressing. Again, this is solvent based, but as you can see, it did survive the one rinse with the hose. Again, I'm not too surprised. Again, this is solvent based, but it does still look okay. All right. Now on this wheel we had the carbon detail supply tire dressing. Now this one is water based, just like the Chemical Guys VRP. It's also water based, but you know, I don't see any runs. I don't see anything that any kind of streaking or anything. Overall, it looks all right. I do think most of it did rinse off, but the tire still looks good, so there's still something there. Now on this wheel we had the Chemical Guys VRP. Again, this is water based as well. Again, it looks like most of it came off with the rinse. At the top of the wheel, I don't know if I can get it in camera, but I do see just a little streaking from where the product ran. But I mean, overall the wheel still looks okay. You can tell there's still a little product there left on it. But I'll show you the rear tire with nothing on it for comparison. All right, so this was our comparison wheel. This was our reference. No product on here. It's been cleaned, and nothing has been applied. Alright, so here is the wheel with the pan tire dressing after 2 rinses. As you can see, there is still a little something there. But I mean, even if I rub, I mean, you can't see it. So I guess that's good. I guess it has dried and bonded to the tire. But there's not a whole lot left. Alright, here's the wheel with the carbon detail supply dressing. You know, again, it looks like this is mostly gone. I don't know that there's any left. Let's see if I try to rub this. Yeah, there's nothing there. Or if there is, it's bonded to the tire. But again, it does not look bad. And this is water based, so I mean, it's not like it's going to hold up through a monsoon, but if nothing else, it at least rinsed clean. And here's the VRP wheel. As you can see, it also rinsed pretty clean. That second time, I don't see any streaking. I don't think there's anything left on this wheel. Yeah, there's nothing. Or if there is, it's bonded to the rubber. But again, doesn't look bad. Alright, car nerds, that was the end of the endurance challenge for the tire dressing showdown. So first, let's talk about the Chemical Guys VRP. As I said at the beginning of the video, this has been my go-to for a long time. I like that it's water-based, so it rinses easy. It's easy to apply, doesn't last forever, but it does have some good anti-static properties. Now, as we saw in the video, there was maybe a little streaking or running of the product on that first rinse. You know, I'm trying to simulate like driving through like a rainstorm, you know, something to that effect. So it's not a perfect test, but you know, just trying to show how it can last. I mean, I still like the Chemical Guys VRP because I mean I've liked it for a long time, but maybe it's not going to be my go-to anymore. Just because that little bit of running. It did seem to hold up well, but you know, by the end of that second rinse, I think it was mostly gone. And I want to talk about the clean by pans tire dressing. So again, this is version 1. Version 1 is solvent based. So that means it will, or should at least, last longer through rinses. Maybe not washes, but, if it gets wet, it'll withstand the water a little bit more. I think we saw that in the test. I sprayed each wheel a couple times. And as we saw with the pans wheel, um, it did seem to last. It did seem to have a little bit of something left on the wheel there at the end. Um, would it survive a third wash or rinse? Probably not. When you hit it with soap and water, it tends to wash away a little bit faster. Um, but I mean, it's not a bad product. I do like it. It has a little more gloss that I look for sometimes, but not all the time. I tend to enjoy more of that matte finish, and that's why I had been going with the Chemical Guys VRP. It's just a simple product. That gave just a small amount of shine. The other thing is with the VRP, I mean, you can use it on everything, inside, outside, whatever, plastic trim anywhere. The clean by pan, I mean, you can probably use it the same way. Maybe not. I don't know that I'd use it on the inside, but let me actually read the bottle. Let me see if it says anything about that. All right, me from the future. So the clean by pans is just wheels or tires. It doesn't say anything on the bottle about diluting it for plastic trim. But again, I do like the look of it. Um, it's a nice product. It's just a little more glossy than I like most times. All right, and the last product I tried was the Carbon Detail Supply tire dressing. Now this one, again, like the VRP, you can dilute it. There's instructions on the back of the bottle here. You can dilute it down to 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 for use on plastic trim. You can also use it in like an engine bay or motor bay. I've got another video where I'm going to detail the front end or the motor bay in this optic with it. See how it works. But again, I do like this. It's water based. It did rinse cleanly. I hit it that first time, dried the wheel, didn't see any running or anything. It just looked like a clean wheel. Rinse it a second time, and again, it just continued to be a clean wheel. But I do like that it is a matte finish. And that's something that I personally like. Was there any left after that second rinse? I don't think so. If I did a third rinse, I don't know that there would have been anything left of the pans. I think they would have all been gone for sure after the third rinse. But on a normal basis, I don't know how many rainstorms you're going to drive through, or how many times you're going to hit your tires with the hose before you reapply more product. I know, like, the pan says it'll last for weeks. Chemical Guy says it'll last for a while. I mean, I don't know. I know the Chemical Guys can last a while if you don't wash your car, or if it just sits there. It does maintain that look. I'm sure that's going to be the same thing with Carbon Detail Supply. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. Pans, again, same thing. But I think that's going to be true for pretty much any tire dressing. Anything that you spray on there, if you just leave it there and you don't touch it, you don't drive, whatever, it's going to stay there, and it's going to continue to look okay. Eventually it will, sort of, degrade or wear off, but, for the most part, tire dressings are not meant to last forever. They're a temporary thing. But I think this might be my go-to for a little while. Gives that the tires that, as they say, OEM plus finish. I think it might be a little more OEM plus plus. But it's a nice dressing. I think it works well. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's a joy to use. Tire dressings in general are pretty subjective. Everybody likes something a little bit different. There are people that still enjoy the super wet look of the silicone tire dressing. Personally, I've never liked that. I've used it. It's a mess. I'm not a big fan of it. Um, but I mean these products here, I do like using all of them, and I will continue to use all of them. Um, but again, the carbon detail I think might be my go-to for a little bit because it's brand new. And who does not like to try new things? I don't know. It's fun, especially in the detailing world. Try new things, get new experiences, and see what else is out there that you like. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on Foaming Ions, and I will catch you next time.